You didn't? Okay.
Whatever.
Hey y'all, Bob Dylan here. How does it feel? Cut that out. Oh man. I watched A Complete Unknown. Got my drip from Youth on Record. It's not from Youth on
We
Record.
see the fit, bro. Come on.
You know how vibe, bro.
Microwave edit.
We watched A Complete Unknown. I watched it too.
Oh, brother.
So I guess I can critique it first as a narrative movie. I actually found a lot of loose ends, like, in the narrative. Like, everything felt a little weird. And, like, it's just all felt... The movie seems to assume you know some stuff. Because sometimes I'm just like, what are we doing here? Sometimes, like, yeah, they need to break down when he puts out albums and shit. Because sometimes it's just what's happening.
They just showed...
They showed Freewheelin' coming out?
Freewheelin', like, they just... showed it in the background.
Yeah,
it was like literally,
they don't even tell you.
They didn't tell you that he even released the album.
You watch Bob Dylan and Freewheelin' come out, and then they skip Times That Are Changing and Another Side, and then they kind of meld together, bringing it all back home and Highway 61. Like, the sessions were not the same sessions, and yet they just...
By the end of the movie, I just assumed, I was like, I didn't know Highway 61 was his third album.
Right.
I thought that, I literally didn't even realize that they skipped over. I was like, there's no way that's the case.
Yeah.
They skipped like 3 years.
Yeah, it was a little clunky. It's not, Timothy Chalamet's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be a true, like, Dewey Cox.
Boxes drip like lampposts in the twisted birth canal of the Coliseum.
It's just, it's at least not like that, but like sometimes he is totally doing the voice and I'm just like, come on. That was one of my issues too, is Bob Dylan's voice goes through like 4 phases from when he gets to New York and when he puts out Highway 61, and Timothy Chalamet does like 1. Like, he's singing in the same voice he does like Rolling Stone that he does Blowin' in the Wind. Joan Baez is like this non-existent yet important character. Like, she doesn't exist as a real human, which is funny. Because, like, her whole point is that, like, Bob Dylan isn't treating women like humans, and so we just made her a manic pixie dream girl who, like, yeah, and they're all like, oh, you write such good original songs, and then Bob Dylan shit on an original, and we never hear her play an original. The audience has no idea what an original Joan Baez song sounds like. You need to go with that, and they just don't. She does House of the Rising Sun, which is a standard. She does pretty good vocally, though. Doesn't sound quite like Joan, but she does pretty good. Guy does Johnny Cash, man. I thought he was going to have sex with me. I thought he was going to have sex with Bob Dylan. Like, I thought it was going to be this weird 3-way thing. I thought it was going to be challengers, except, like, I'm one of them. Because, like, he was giving some serious fuck me eyes to Bob. Like, pen pals and shit. Come on. He does pretty good as Johnny Cash, and he sounds... pretty decent as Johnny Cash. What little of Johnny Cash you get. Edward Norton is the best part as Pete Seeger. He kills it. He sounds just enough like Pete Seeger. He looks just enough like Pete Seeger. That's the only one where I'm just like, oh, thank God. You're a genuine character who's doing what you need to be doing. This isn't... I guess this is a critique of the movie, but I get it that Bob Dylan songs are long. But they keep doing the first verse, and then he sings, like, the chorus, if there is a chorus, and then, like, they finish the song. There's no fade out to show that they played the rest of the song. Like, the song's done. They do Newport at the end.
It really is. When he's, like,
and they
playing... What is it? Fuck, the one where he's talking about... Right, Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, when he's playing that on the stage, and then he just, like, ends it after playing it for, like, a minute. And I'm like,
Hard Rain's Gonna Fall is a long
no.
And it's just like, I don't think, it's just like...
It's so they can get that applause.
Right. I don't know. They could have just phased it with, I don't know, but, like, it really pisses me off during the Newport Folk Festival, the last one at the end, the 65 Newport Folk Festival, because this is the big showstopper of the movie. This is what the movie's been building up to. And then, like, yeah, right, Like a Rolling Stone happens. He does one verse, sings the chorus, and the song's done? The fuck?
The fuck
At
is
least
this?
the Queen movie had the, not the audacity. It's the Queen movie had the fucking balls to do the whole Live Aid. Queen movie's, like, shorter than this, too. So they had the fucking time. They could have done it. Okay, because Wicked's almost 3 hours. So, if that musical can come out, it's 3 hours. This one can do it. That's like, and then they combine the Royal Albert Hall show with Newport for some reason, but only for the Judas line, which is just like, yeah. It's so, and they don't even get the quote from Bob Wright. He doesn't even say the full and correct thing back to Judas. So it's like, if you're gonna, I don't know.
So much incorrect information.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, Pete Seeger, if Pete Seeger's on screen, I have a good time. The movie just felt clunky until it's 65, 64, whatever, whenever they jump. I think it's 65 if they're skipping over his 2 albums from 1964. I'm like, that's Timothy Chalamet. And then once it's 65, I'm still like, that's Timothy Chalamet, but you look a lot more like Bob Dylan. There's too much of just, yeah, like every scene, I swear to God, this is why I like when Pete Seeger's on screen, because it's the only time this isn't happening. It's always, who are you going to be, Bob? Whatever they want me to be. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Holy shit.
I just think music is like it's like they tell you like
I don't know.
what you
I
gotta
will
do.
say, the movie didn't really drag on for me. I wasn't sitting there like, oh my God, when is this over? I was fairly entertained. I think they're trying to imply that the motorcycle accident, whether you believe that actually happened or not, is what the movie technically ends on. Like, he's riding away on the motorcycle. I think it's supposed to imply that motorcycle accident. I don't know, or maybe not at all. I don't really know. I almost think I got excited when I learned that they were going to focus in on just a couple years. And I almost wish they had just done his whole career. Because let's be honest, if he's doing the whole career, it's mostly just going to be the 60s and 70s.
They still skipped over.
They still
Shit.
skipped over
It's like they
shit.
didn't even get to go in depth with everything.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's what I would have been interested in, is because the 2 albums he does after Freewheelin' are super important, especially Another Side of Bob Dylan, which isn't one of his greatest albums, but that's like the first time he does real surrealist writing, and it's a big change lyrically to Bob Dylan, and they just gloss over that. Like, I would have liked to see his actual artistic progression, because you see a little bit where he's like, oh, I need to write some originals instead of doing folk a little bit. His girlfriend seems really mad about that, who's like not Susie Rotolo, it's Sylvie Russell, so it's like a different thing. It's an amalgamation of people, and and then all of a sudden he's writing It's Alright Ma, which, by the way, there's like 5 scenes of him writing It's Alright Ma, and he never fucking plays it. To my memory, he does not play all of It's Alright Ma, or a whole verse where he's not murmuring through it to figure it out. The movie ends like every biopic ends, where it's just like 2 months later, Highway 61 came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, guys. Are you for real?
Bob Dylan is still
Alive.
alive.
Yeah. And then I like that they throw in there, like, Joan Baez releases Diamonds and Rust about Bob Dylan 10 years later. Because that's I don't know. I don't know. I felt like everything they covered was the least interesting stuff for me, aside from when he's in the studio. And every studio is just everybody either sitting around like, what are you doing? They aren't going to like this. Or it's,
Who wrote this? Bob wrote this.
what is this? This is brilliant. And it's like, choose a lane. Not choose a lane, but I don't know. but like, no, see, what the fuck is... I don't know. I just felt unsatisfied at the end. And part of that is surely the fact that I know, like, there's so many other interesting stuff. That's what I like about I'm Not There. That movie gives you each period to a good extent. This movie can't seem to decide if it wants to display Bob Dylan as the character or Robert Zimmerman as the person. And it doesn't switch between the two in an interesting way. It's just like, everybody else but Bob is aware of the fact that he's a real human being. And like, Bob's just kind of... It's like, I am, but I'm not. I'm Bob Dylan. Also, I gotta throw every time they show the freewheeling cover with Timothy Chalamet on it, I had to laugh out loud because it just looks nothing like it. He looks all like this on the cover, like he looks like a weird skinified version. Like they on Photoshop they just compressed him down. Pete Seeger's the best part though. Pete Seeger, man, does a great job.
I assume that's your favorite character.
Yeah, I would say probably. I liked. No, that's wow, that's pretty much. Yeah, because every time Pete Seeger was on screen, it probably meant he wasn't talking to Bob Dylan. No hate to Timothy Chalamet though. His press run for this has actually made me really like him a lot more. He's clearly is very committed to the role. I don't know if it delivered.
Floored. I am so grateful.
Thank you, Bob.
What'd you rate out of 10?
It's a rough one.
The big question.
Like, I don't know. I was thinking that while the credits rolled and while I was driving, and I just don't think it's I don't know. Like, this is the first time a biopic has come out that I've gone and seen where I actually know a lot about it. Like, I was there when the Queen biopic came out, and I just gotten into Queen. And, like, I never really learned that much about what happened to Queen. Like, I've learned more over the years, but, like, I don't know. People were making YouTube videos like they do now. And that one I was younger, and I was like, yeah. But so this is the first time I've truly had something that I know a lot about come out, and I get to truly be like, I don't know, do you rate it as something that's actually telling you what happened? Do you rate it as a narrative thing? Do you rate it as... So, I don't know, I give it 1 Bob Dylan out of 10. I don't know, maybe like a 6 or something, I don't know. 5, 4, I don't know. That's it. Bob Dylan, 2024.
Enrique cannot fit in the frame. I don't have to stand awkwardly.
Go! Okay. A Complete Unknown, Bob Dylan, 2024. It was fine, I guess. Putting it staring me down really hard. And I'm a bit nervous. So, the directing's pretty good.
There was a cool scene where like Joan Pye is in the mirror. That was good.
Yeah.
There's a couple good shots
when they were arguing. She's like, "Get out!" And she was in the mirror while they were talking.
Yeah.
Too much like Midsummer though, so But every time a song starts for the first half of the movie, I was just pissed off because they would start singing, and then one character would just look at the person singing like.
Have you been, my blue eyes?
This guy wrote this?
Yes. Crazy, right?
Oh, where have you?
From when he plays for Good
Woody
Guthrie
Guthrie.
and Edward Norton. From that on, I'm like, everybody's just sitting there, and there's like.
I got a note too. I've never seen it. That's like the only one of 2 original songs on his first album, his song to Woody, and another one I don't remember. And they act like it's such a great song, but
Yeah,
actually it's not.
It really
especially
wasn't.
compared to the rest of his discography, it's not that. Like, I still see people discuss it. Like, well, it has song to Woody. I'm like, is it that good though?
I was
It's
like
decent.
sitting there like, are they going to be like mind blown by this? And
Or,
after it ended, I thought they were mad about the
That's
song.
my thing. Is like
I was like, yeah, that shit was low key kind of mid.
yeah, it's not a great song. Like, it's a fine song. He should have played it. I was young when I left home. That was a better one when they did that one.
And then it's just fine. I don't know. I was pretty bored throughout like the entire second act. There's some funny moments, ironically and unironically. I think the scene with Johnny Cash being drunk.
That was fucking funny.
That was funny.
It almost felt a little out of tone, though. I was like,
like
what is the
after-
tone of this movie?
I don't really. As a movie, it's kind of like so unresolved in every way. Like what happens with this girl or whatever, and then
Yeah, there's so much more to the Bob
Joan
Dylan, Joan Baez thing,
Like, she just
especially
kinda
by Rolling Thunder.
She doesn't even like a. She's just there at the end.
No, literally, right?
Yeah, she's just.
They don't
there.
resolve any of their. I mean, they never really do in real life either. But like, fuck, if we're gonna edit stuff for the sake of the movie, that's
I just. The main character's an asshole, man. I don't like.
kind of an asshole.
He's kind of an asshole, Bob. Every time I'm just like, he's got his sunglasses on the motorcycle. There's this one scene he's preparing before a show, and he's just got his guitar, the harmonica in his face, and he's just like playing the guitar while looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Man. And since Timothy Chalamet is so unbelievable as the character, it's so goofy. Yeah, I don't know. This movie was nothing to me.
Who's your favorite character?
Edward Norton,
What would you give it?
4 out of 10. Disappointment.
How does it feel? It's fine. I'm Not There exists. We'll watch I'm Not There. We'll make a review for that. We'll make a sequel to this. The cinematic universe.
This is the BCU.
Yeah.
The
The BDCU. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Jordan Doherty or Jim Jug 23 2024.
Real name dog.
Last day of 2024.
Last day. Last movie.
Happy New Year 2025. Bye.
Like a complete unknown.
It's on.
Hello, everyone. I'm Enrique. I have Freak Up with me. And I have a Timothy Chalamet inspired fit, I guess, out of turtleneck.
Oh my god, that's Bob Dylan.
How does it feel? Enrique with the Rolling Thunder. Respect.
Oh my god.
He's
Anyways,
based.
before I say anything, I really don't know a lot about Bob Dylan, so I guess if you don't know a lot about Bob Dylan like I do, this review will give you more insight on how the movie might be from my perspective, which, you know, I don't really know a lot about Bob Dylan.
I didn't know too much either.
Well, I don't really. I listened to like a few tracks on Blonde, but that's about it, honestly. I thought the pacing was pretty weird. It was pretty fast at the beginning. You know, with the whole introduction. You know, him moving to New York, and then, you know, just people getting to know him as a person, and then getting a record deal with Columbia. I personally thought, I couldn't think to myself but Timothy Chalamet is not Bob Dylan, really. I know, I've read articles. I know,
Trades.
I know, what's it called? I read an article saying, like, Timothy Chalamet has been, like, prepping for this role for, like, years.
Oh, years, man.
Yeah, and then I still can't wrap my head around.
He met Bob Dylan too. Like, I don't know, man.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah, Bob Dylan like apparently like acted out this whole movie to the director before he approved it, and I don't know, man. Maybe that's a part of Bob Dylan because he likes being a character. So he's like, yeah, this is all wrong. Do it. How much money you guys spending on this?
And since it is a character, I guess you have to judge it as a movie.
That's what
And
I'm
the narrative
saying.
is low-key ass.
But yeah, no, that's my thing. Is like, how do I judge something where I don't know?
That's
why I'm Not There exists, and it's good.
Well, I just saw it as a fun pastime with my friends because
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we went. Yeah.
I mean, for a 2-hour-long movie, it's definitely way shorter than what Joker 2 was. I was actually tolerable. It was, it had its moments for sure. Definitely when that one girl at the bar just shouted, "Is that Bob fucking Dylan?"
Oh my god!
And the dude just gets punched.
He gets punched in the face, and the girl's like fucking attacking him too. So I don't know why he gets punched in the face.
I don't know what. Like I thought Bob was gonna, or Timothy Chalamet was gonna fucking punch her in the face. No. It was the opposite. And that whole scene, it was like kind of weird. I honestly had no idea what was going on in terms of albums. It was kind of discreet on how what sessions we were on. Especially for me, I don't really know.
Dude, I could barely tell sometimes, and I know those first 10 albums real well.
Yeah. No, I thought his impersonation of like his actual voice was. I mean, he obviously didn't get his iconic voice down to the T, but it was decently close to the point where if you try to ignore the fact that it was Timothy Chalamet, it was pretty close. the whole scene with the
There's Jordan with some of my Bob Dylan. Most of mine are in the car today because I did a bunch of driving.
Timothy Chalamet really doesn't. Look
Right? No.
that.
And
I just
that's,
think
yeah.
he looks rounder. Bob Dylan does.
Yeah, because Bob Dylan had some, like, before he got cocaine skinny, like, yeah.
Bob
It's
Dylan's
especially
kinda
bad, the
cute.
one scene
Yeah.
with when he's like naked on
Yeah.
the bed, and I'm like, look at this twink motherfucker. That's not Bob Dylan.
That's, yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but there's one of my Bob Dylans.
yeah on the Freewheeling album cover. It's
Yeah, man. That's what we're listening to in Highway 61.
The whole Newport, folk festival. I don't know. I kind of found it touching. How he kind of progressed his way into like getting into like that status where people just like got into him, and then he went all electric, and then he played to be a Rolling Stone. It was interesting to see, like, to experience how the fans would be firsthand, to actually see him transform into something like that out of folk and then just become more experimental with his style. And it definitely proved it in the end, where it's kind of stupid how the movie didn't really show it, how influential that really turned out to be, even though it like kind of showed at the end with a black screen, just text. I don't know, it would have been better if they actually showed
what
the impact.
friggin' Rubber Soul.
Yeah,
by the
Highway
Beatles.
61.
Yeah, Rubber Soul by the Beatles. That's a
And
big.
then Pet Sounds was influenced by that somehow. And
Yeah.
then, Sgt. Pepper's was
Influenced by-
Pet Sounds. And
Yeah.
You can tell early Pink Floyd is influenced by that stuff.
Yeah.
So
So it's a big, yeah. Bob Dylan was a big. Bob Dylan's also the reason the Beatles used weed. Like, Bob Dylan is the one that.
Used weed.
Yeah, because Bob Dylan brought him weed. He was like, you guys never had weed before? And they're like,
No, this-
no, laddie.
This movie would have been better if it had Paul Rudd and Jack Black as the
Yeah. We gotta watch Walk.
I'm kind of upset Quincy didn't bring his harmonica to play along.
I know, I was gonna. Wait, here, Claire, hold the phone, focus on Enrique. I should have one. Does anyone have a.
Real focused on Enrique.
No, focus.
Freaky Bob.
No.
I think my favorite character is the police whistle seller. He was pretty chill. He was just clueless. Undisputed.
Sorry, I'm playing along with you now. Sorry.
Go! Undisputed best cameo of all time. That was great.
Hell yeah.
I did honestly appreciate that tribute, even though I didn't know about that until Quincy included me in here. No, I thought it was a pretty cool tribute to that little Easter egg that most Bob Dylan fans should probably know. But I don't, because I don't listen to Bob Dylan that much. For me, I rate the movie 6.5. It was pretty enjoyable. The pacing was a little weird. Didn't really show a lot of his influence, but I honestly thought it was pretty good with the impression of Bob Dylan. Didn't really put a good name into his what's it called, like his career, I guess, is as a musician and just the influence, and that's it.
So fat. Fuck. Hey, don't be mean. Okay.
wasn't talking about the stuff Bob Dylan.
That's crazy.
Yo,
Okay. Hi.
I was talking about
Sorry, I'm a little sick if my voice sounds weird. But I also don't know that much about Bob Dylan. I listen to Bob Dylan sometimes, but I'm not that knowledgeable about Bob Dylan more. But basically, I enjoyed the movie. Pacing was definitely kind of weird, especially in the first half. Kind of dragged on. I felt like the same thing happened like 20 times, where he like made a song and everybody's like like going crazy. Yeah,
It's him
right.
playing like a worse version.
I also like, especially in the first half, I had trouble being like, that's Bob Dylan, because to me that's just fucking Timothy Chalamet. Once they jumped to 65 is a bit better, because like he got that longer hair on, but I don't know, it still kind of just looked like Timothy in a wig, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a wig too. I thought Timothy like grew his hair out for that, but I saw it and it's a wig. He couldn't have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guess he's got Dune to film.
Yeah. So I don't know. When he first started talking, I laughed out loud a little bit because I was like, dude.
Everyone in the theater, by the way, I thought maybe we'd get some younger people, but they were all.
Yeah, they're all
It reminds me of when I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. Like I sat next to some old people that looked at me weird too. They were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. No. So what was I gonna say? So yeah, I had trouble kind of being like, that's Bob Dylan. Like I had to keep reminding myself that this is supposed to be Bob Dylan. I also wish they did more with like Joan Baez and her story. I feel like like she could have been a lot more interesting. Like I know the movie's about Bob Dylan, but they could have had her more fleshed out as a character instead of just being like an accessory to Bob Dylan, basically. But the second half was pretty good. I laughed at some moments. I had some fun. I liked the whole performance festival scene. Although, I don't know, some parts felt a bit redundant. I also wish they would have shown like the effect or like the aftermath of it a bit more. Cause I don't know, I felt like he just kind of played and then he just like rides off into the sunset with his motorcycle. And
Yeah, no, the movie
disappears.
really thinks we know everything.
Right? So like, I don't know, they could have showed like the aftermath or like the impact it had culturally a bit more. But I don't know. It overall, like, I wasn't the most satisfied with how it was, but I probably would have been more dissatisfied if I knew more about Bob Dylan. So I still enjoyed it for what it was. I laughed a little. I'd probably give it.
Cried,
I would probably give it like a 6.5 also, just based on that.
We don't know who Claire's favorite character is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Who's your favorite character?
Shit, man. I don't fucking know. I'm trying to think of the characters that were in the movie. All I remember is fucking Timothy Chalamet looking like really fucking Twinkie. Honestly, probably like Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash.
He was, dude, I felt a little, I don't know, he felt kind
Dude,
of
like I
sexually
said, we
aggressive.
were gonna,
though.
right? He was, yeah,
He
it
was
wasn't
doing-
insane. It was aggressive. Like, that man was like,
He was looking at the camera he was looking at me with those eyes, you know. I felt a little uncomfortable.
it's that Johnny Cash stare, baby.
I was shifting in my seat.
Want
I
to come and
was
get some of that Johnny chocolate.
like, what the
Whoa.
fuck? But yeah, no, yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
It's me, Johnny Cash. Want to come and walk my line, baby.
My darling young one,
Thank God it's an acoustic and not an electric guitar, bro.
well, I stumbled on the side of 12 Mountains.
You suck!